And that as we live in the now moment, you know, the first mystical law of life is living in the now. And Eckhart Tolle said something so beautiful, and I make it my intention to live by this. He said, accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. This will miraculously transform your whole life. So the first mystical law of life is living in this now moment. Our affirmation was the point of power is always in the present moment. And as we open to this present moment and we live in this present moment, we acknowledge the portal that opens for us, and we walk through that portal and we feel life in a way that we haven't quite felt it before. I love the ancient saying, my name is I am, not I was. I live in the now, not in the past. My name is I am. My name is I am. My name is I am. I do not live in the future. My name is not I will be. My name is I am. When you live in the present, my name is I am. I am there. My name is I am. And what I am so aware of is that anything that we put after I am, that creates our reality. Remember that when Moses looked at the burning bush and said, who are you? What are you? The voice of I am answered and said, cast off your shoes, for where you stand is holy ground. And where we stand at any place in our lives, whatever is going on, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we are exactly where we need to be at that moment, because we have within us that dynamic energy, that alchemical energy that transforms what we are looking at, sees through it to the truth of its being, that it's all experience. And when we understand there is no good experience, there is no bad experience. There is just experience that allows us to grow, to evolve, and to expand, and to be all that we can be. We are here on the planet to fulfill our destiny. And many of us went through amazing and traumatic experiences in childhood, came out on the other side. And when we come out on the other side of these experiences, our heart deepens in compassion. And we allow ourselves to be in the world, but of a higher spiritual vibratory frequency to serve. Remember what Schweitzer said, I don't know what your destiny will be, but this one thing I know. The only ones among you who will be truly happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. When I went into the ministry, I was very sensitive and I took many things personally. And you're suddenly, you know, you're in public life and you're going to be adored and revered. And you're also going to have the other experience of being judged and criticized, because everyone is looking through their own lens and projecting out into the world. And that's not meaning that we can't evaluate or have observations. However, if our evaluations and observations are unkind, that comes from something within us. That is self-sabotage. That's something that is programmed within us that gives us the opportunity to release it. Accept, then act, as Eckhart Tolle said. I love that. And that any experience that comes into our lives, act as though we chose it. Work with it, not against it. This will transform our whole life. And I have found living in the now moment has allowed me to transcend the everyday experience and really get what Tesla said. If you want to know the secrets of life, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, which takes it out of the realm of personality and into the realm of principle, that everything is energy, that we vibrate at a certain frequency, and that when we live in the now moment, this first mystical law of life, live in the now. Acknowledge that this is the only moment that we have. My name is I am, not I was. My name is I am, not I will be. My name is I am. And when you live in the now, you come from the I am presence. And when we cast off our shoes, that is a metaphor for let nothing stand between you and your spiritual experience. Nothing and no thing. In my 77 years on the planet as of Thursday, what I have learned in my life is that everything really is for our highest good. That everything that comes into our experience is a blessing, and sometimes in disguise. And it's up to us to see through the appearance, the condition, the effect, the appearance that shows up that we oftentimes give our power away to. And it's really fascinating. About a year and a half ago, I was going through, some very interesting experiences. I would wake up and I would feel this palpitation in my heart, and I would feel like a pain in my left arm, and then it would go up into the jaw on the inside. And I had a friend who had angina, and she used to tell me that this pain would go from her left arm up into her jaw. And so I have a friend who is a nurse, a retired nurse, the administrative nurse from Desert Regional Hospital. And she said, we're taking you to emergency. And so she took me to emergency, and they wanted me to stay for a couple of days for extensive tests. And so, of course, the first thing they do, I've got a pain down my arm. I have palpitations. It's going up into my jaw, as I had every heart test that there was. And my heart came out strong and good. And that he said oftentimes that these experiences come up and they duplicate what looks like heart experience, but it's like an acid reflux response. And as he was sharing this with me, I was taking it in, right? And I just absolutely love spicy food. Spicy food is just the best. And so he said, you're going to have to go on a blander diet, telling me these things, sharing these things. And I took it in. And when I took it in and I came home and I acknowledged that sometimes we make the shift. And as we make the shift, it's for our highest good. And as we open to our highest good, and I took it in because I felt that this was valuable information, even though I had resistance, right? And that I have been very blessed with radiant health. Everything that I've had done, every surgery was more of a repair. I had major surgery a couple of years ago on my back. The back represents feeling supported. So when we burden bear, it bears down on our spine. So as we learn these principles of metaphysics, and that every single body energy has a component. And Louise Hay wrote a beautiful book on You Can Heal Your Body, and she has the affirmations for everything that we experience. So as we open to love, as we open to peace, as we acknowledge that we're at choice. And I loved it. I just love Eckhart Tolle's quote, accept and then act. And that anything that comes into our experience, act as though we chose it. Because on a subliminal level, guess what? We do. We did. We chose it on some level to learn and to grow. It's not to beat ourselves up with or flagellate ourselves. It's to grow. It's to open our understanding. And so what is our pain? What is our pain but the breaking of the shell that encloses our understanding? And I thought on this August 1st, usually ministers and metaphysics take the whole month of August off to renew, to regenerate, and to absolutely restore their energy. And what I know is that in the 46 years of my ministry, that there is no profession on the planet that deals more intimately with the human condition than that of minister. And I mean, I have found myself in amazing places. I have found myself, with loving community at the morgue to identify a body. I have done many, many, many thousands of memorial services, especially during the 80s, during the AIDS epidemic. And so for me, as I shared with each parent and loved one and partner, that when there's a collective consciousness of people transcending, as there has been during this time of this pandemic, that there is a consciousness that arises and transcends, so that we who are left on the earth plane can open our hearts to compassion to one another, to acknowledge our oneness, and that you really are as close to God as I am ever going to get. And I really am as close to God as you were ever going to get. So during